Welcome everyone. So on today's agenda, we have notes on circles, and you guys have a Google form. By the end of class today, you should be able to identify lines and relationships to circles. So as a quick reminder, two things. We have the line that's the diameter of the circle. Remember, that means that the endpoints lie on the circle and that line also goes through the center of the circle. So here in this image, my center is marked with the letter O. And then the radius of the circle, or the radii lines, is when you form a line by going from the center of the circle point to then touching one point that lies on the circle. So that's your radius line. And that's just a quick reminder for you guys. So the first term in the vocabulary is a chord. So a chord is a segment whose endpoints lie on the circle. So notice here I have this endpoint, and then I have this line segment, and then the other endpoint. Both of these points lie on some point of the circle. So this is called a chord. So notice not all chords have to go through the center of the circle. So just as long as the endpoints lie on the circle, we can call it a chord. Okay, so all diameters are chords, but not all chords are diameter lines. And then a secant line is a line that intersects a circle at 2 points. So notice the secant line, it's going ahead, and this line is touching the circle at this point here and then this point here, but it extends out further than the circle itself. Okay, so like notice here with the chord, let's go back. With the chord, that line segment ended at each point that it lied on the circle, versus when we're talking about a secant line, we have a line that's actually extending out past the points of the circle. And then a tangent line is a line that's on the same plane as a circle and intersects the circle at exactly 1 point. So notice here in this image, this line here would be considered a tangent line because it touches the circle at exactly 1 point, that point A. So you can only touch the circle once in order to be considered a tangent line. And also when you're a tangent line will always be perpendicular to the radii line. So if we go from that point and we touch the center, the tangent line and then that radii line would be perpendicular to each other, meaning that they'd create a right angle. Okay, so this is different. This line here is different from this line here, because if we look at it, this tangent line again only touches the point once, versus this line here would be considered a secant line because it touches the circle at 2 points and then it extends out further. And then we say two circles are congruent if and only if they have the same radius. Okay, so the nice thing about circles is it is just dependent upon your radii to see if these two circles are the same. It's not like other polygons where you have to test out the relationships between the side lanes and the angles. Circles, it's just created by the radii line. So if we look and we see that the two circles in this case both have a radii of 2 inches, that means that these two circles are in fact congruent. And then this is going to be our last definition for right now. Concentric circles are coplanar circles with the same center. So think of it just like a bullseye type of picture. Like if you're playing darts or something, concentric circles just mean that they all share that same center of the circle. And then from there, you're creating circles that are similar, and that you're just creating that same circle and just going ahead and expanding out that radii. And so here we have them where they're all overlapping and then they share the same center point. So we call that concentric circles.